So as a professional holistic leadership coach, advisor, and educator around this whole experience of power, authority, and influence in our human existence, the common question is, well, what value does coaching, or if you want to call it also some advising, what value does that offer? And there's a few answers to this. One is, first of all, in that setting, whether it be therapy, counseling, or in this case, coaching, it forces you in a positive way, it forces you to slow down and to pay attention to what's going on inside of me, pay attention to what's going on outside of me. If we're going down the highway, at 60, 75, whatever it is, miles an hour, 150 kilometers an hour, you don't see a whole lot. Now, when you're going 20 miles an hour, you're able to notice a lot more. So this setting forces us to slow down. And through the coaching process, to discover a lot of things that otherwise you may not discover, or it would take you a lot longer to discover. So what is coaching then? Well, coaching is the art of attentive listening, the art of creative questioning, with the conviction that you as the client and as the coach, you have the answers inside of you. And it's very powerful when someone discovers the answers. I'm not an expert in you, and I'm not an expert in the position or the field or sector that you work in. But I am an expert in facilitating that process of discovery. I am an expert in managing the human element, whether it be ourselves or whether it be others, and an expert in leadership. So that's really what the coaching process is. So a coach facilitates a process of discovery. And in that, strategies will come up, actions will come up. And what's also important about this is coaching creates self-awareness. And you'll hear me say this some other times, but that self-awareness is the greatest leadership asset. The lack of self-awareness is one of the greatest leadership liabilities. And they don't talk a lot about this. Because if we think about it, when we talked about senior leadership before, they get to these positions and like, well, I don't need coaching because if I got to this position, I must be really good at what I do. Yes, I'm sure you are very good at what you do, but it's very important for us. Growing in self-awareness is a lifelong journey. As human beings, we are mysteries to ourselves. So we're on a journey of knowing more and more and more about ourselves. And that's somewhat what I mean by self-awareness, but there's a lot of other things that are related to self-awareness. But if you think about it, a leader who's in a senior role, the less self-awareness they have, in other words, the more blind spots, imagine how that will affect how they manage people. Imagine how that will affect how they regulate and manage themselves. Imagine how that will affect how they make decisions and so many other things. So coaching helps in this process of growing in self-awareness. And yes, then we come up with strategies, then we come up with actions. And one other element of coaching is, as I said before, we are mysteries to ourselves. So when we take our experiences, when we take our thoughts, when we take our emotions, we transform them into language, into words, something almost miraculous happens in us as human beings. And it's so powerful. Things become more real. We take more ownership. We hear ourselves say things that otherwise we never would have heard ourselves say before, or ever say. When we think about the human experience of laughter or crying, oftentimes when we say something and it creates laughter, we say something and all of a sudden we start to cry. And it's part of that experience. We take ownership, it becomes more real. And only when we do that can we manage ourselves better. Now that's hard for us to do as human beings. We want to keep things, sometimes we like to keep things to ourselves. And if we were looking at males and females, males have more of a tendency to sort of want to be self-sufficient and to more guarded in revealing things. And females generally could be a bit more connected in this and have more of an ability of expression. And so, for all of us, this is an opportunity to learn so much about ourselves by transforming things into language so that they become more real, they become more manageable, and we can take ownership of it. So my good people, let's continue to lead better, love better, live better. Follow me on my social media platforms, and we'll see you in our next video. This was a lot of minutes today.